Well, hello everybody, it's me, Sammy here, otherwise known as Skullgorm Throwback here again for the obligatory TFNation video that is going to come around throughout today and mostly tomorrow. Yes, so, I'm back from TFNation, and in this video I'm going to give my final thoughts and address my haul and all that sort of thing. Where to start with all this, because it's really difficult to begin when you've had auto assembly in the past, and now we're with this new convention that is sort of replacing that. I can express my thoughts about TFNation in no more than 3 words or less. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good convention. I thought it was a good way to really kickstart the UK Transformers convention going experience once again now that AA is gone, and now we can move on to something newer and something different. And you know, for this particular time only, I really liked the result. I really liked where this particular convention was going. I mean, it had a little bit of the old, but a little bit of the new sprinkled in. I think that's really what really kept it going, and also just seeing the amount of enthusiasm and the dedication and the commitment and the involvement that really helped make this convention really quite enjoyable. It's so easy to go ahead and say, oh well, every convention is going to be great. Well, for the first convention, it's a very different result. I mean, things are going to go very slow for the time being, but I mean, it's like for just to start things off. This convention went pretty well. I think that it started off pretty decently, and it ended fairly well. I was satisfied. I did what I planned to do. I met most of who I wanted to meet. I got what I wanted to get, and I'm pretty satisfied with the results. So before I can get onto the whole let's talk about the experience, because I think that's the biggest issue that is worth addressing for anyone who has actually gone to this for the first time. The experience was good. I thought that the whole team that put it together really dedicated themselves to making this convention as great as possible and did everything that they can to make sure that this was an enjoyable and fantastic experience. And the hard work that went into it and the guests that they managed to get for this year really really meant something, as well as just you know, just well, apart from the toys, you know, just getting to just be where we've always been, you know, go to the bar, meet everybody, get together, and just talk complete shit. And that's the best thing about these sort of conventions. It doesn't necessarily just have to be about the toys. It's always about the people. I mean, the toys, yeah, we all go for the toys, we'll go for the plastic. But I mean, for me personally, I think that the best thing out of that is the experience of getting to meet the guests and meet all of the people that are going there, both new and old friends. So I think that's the best thing about the convention, is really the socializing and the, you know, more fuel on the fire to help really keep this convention experience going for as long as possible. So I'll get back to this in a minute, because there's a lot I want to talk about regarding the people. But without any further ado, let's get to the whole, because there's quite a handful of things I managed to get this year, which I probably wasn't planning on getting. So let's start, shall we? At the top, you can see on both sides Combiner Wars Vortex and Blast Off, which that completes my Combaticons Bruticus Combiner Wars set, so that's all done. I got Beast Wars Neo Big Convoy in its box, which from Ian Pyatt, aka Airlift82. Thanks a lot, Ian. This is a fantastic toy. I've wanted this since I was a kid, and now I've got him. I actually really like him. In regards to the comics and whatnot that I got that picture right over there, which is actually Violent Django, Overlord, and Desirous from Transformers Zone, which was actually done by an artist named Philip Knott. He's a really good artist who actually has a sort of anime-esque style. Next to that, you have the art book by the amazing Kazama. I am going to go and explore a little bit more of that book. The Chimeran, both 2 issues of the comics, which I'm going to start reading at some point, both by John, no, sorry, not John, Paul Goodenough, that I actually had a chance to actually meet him, and he's actually a really nice guy. So those two I'm looking really forward to reading. Next to that, you have the complete Combiner Wars Stunticons from Tuxedo Mike. Thank you very much, Mike. You are a legend. Below that, you have a few more different arts, such as this Perceptor piece, which I got. And next to that, you have this long tooth done by Ian. Thanks a lot, Ian. This is really cool. And next to that, you have you come up. I'm not sure if you can see it, but the complete Sins of the Wreckers, which I know that Nick Roche was at the convention this year, but I didn't get the chance to properly meet him. Plus, since I actually got these comics for on an offer, I didn't get the chance to actually read them properly. So more reading stuff to catch up on. Below that, you have animated Wreck-Gar, and of course this really nice, that's my Twitter going off, art book by Robert Coy, aka Chaos Envy from the Old Oil House, which I'll talk about in a minute. Next to that, you have Legends Megatron, which I've been playing a lot with, and I really like the toy. And above that is a picture of me that was taken by Nick Hardy, the great photographer of Auto Assembly, but now TFNation. So yeah, that's the whole as it is. And I wasn't really planning on getting that many figures because I only really wanted what I really came to get. So like a couple of the figures that I wanted for my Combiner Wars set, as well as just really getting the Stunticons, which I wanted to get off of Mike. So I'm actually glad that I got that. But the book, this, which I'd recommend anybody who's actually stopped by Chaos Envy's table in the Forge, is actually a really, really good book. Robert Coy actually hosts the Lenten Experiment, which happens every year, which is it's a yearly art auction to help raise money for cancer research. And the good thing about this is that there's so many contributors to that, which actually have managed to get the whole artistic juice flowing and really getting everything going. So yeah, I mean, this has been a really fantastic book. I've just been flicking through it, and Rob's a very talented artist. So definitely, if you haven't already got one, I think you might still have one available. So probably ask him for one. I'll give you one. And in regards to another thing as well, which I'm actually quite proud of. These two art pieces, which I drew a while ago, both Perceptor and Vector Prime, which I actually got signed by both Richard Newman and Paul Eiding. And Richard Newman, really great guy, and I mean, he voiced Ronox in Beast Wars, and I got, where is it, Season 1 signed by Richard, because I'm getting the whole cast of Beast Wars to sign it, so that's really awesome. But I mean, it's like, they both like my work. And that's really awesome, because I spent a lot of time trying to get these pieces right as possible. And I'm glad that I lost a lot of sleep because of that. So these two pieces, I'm actually glad that I got signed. So thanks again to both Paul and Richard for both of them to sign these two pieces. I'm really quite proud of that. I'm going to try and get these framed. So, yeah, I mean, that's the whole. But but what else can I say about the whole convention itself? People-wise. The people were great. I mean, that's the thing about with all these conventions is that you really you go to each of these conventions and you are a little bit nervous. You are anxious about what's going to happen, and you're unsure about how the whole experience is going to go down. And to be honest, I was a little bit anxious about the whole thing because, and I don't suffer from anxiety, but I was a little bit anxious about Twitter, the whole convention because it's very new. But for me, once you get through the doors and once you get to meet everybody, all the anxiety and the nervousness just fades away, and then all of a sudden you're in. You're in, and you're enjoying the atmosphere. You're enjoying you're enjoying the experience. You're enjoying everything about what the convention has to offer. So I think that the anxiety is very non-existent once it's all rubbed away. What else? People. What can I talk about the people? So many people. Specifically the people that I've had a chance to really get talk to throughout the weekend. Most notably, the people I talked to over the weekend, the people I didn't get the chance to talk to over the weekend. Because I was mostly I always was moving around from time to time. But I mostly spent a lot of the time talking to Thew about a lot of shit. mostly arguing about Disturbed and mostly arguing about all that other crap, and we have our disagreements, but at the same time though we're good friends. So that's the good thing about this convention is even though we have disagreements, we can bicker constantly. We still have fun at the end of the day. So yeah, there's Theo who as always brings the best of who he is. Who else? Stephen McCartney. I know he doesn't do YouTube, but if he's watching this, thanks for the pep talk which you gave me a little while ago. Very enforcing. What else? Who else can I mention? Rob Turner, Fallen 835. As always, wonderful gen, really nice guy, very open to talk to. Really likes my work, which is always nice to see. Always nice to see supporting the work that I do art-wise. Brian Hancock's Ketchup Beard, wonderful guy. We had a huge discussion about animation, and just the potential of where animation could go for adult audiences. And I know that Sausage Party comes out in September, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, Brian and me just sat down and talked for hours, and during that talking, we missed one of the panels that was going on, and I felt a bit guilty because of that. So fuck. So that's a bit of a kerfuffle, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, me and Brian. Brian is such an interesting person because he's done university stuff and he's worked in animation stuff, and the thing is that he and me will just talk about animation for hours, and you need to start watching more animated movies, because the stuff that I mentioned in of course, some of the stuff that I mentioned to him really it was. But just mentioning different films and just mentioning, how the potential of adult animation can go for different audiences. So, I mean, yeah, that's one thing to really consider. So, Brian Hancock's really awesome guy. Didn't get to see much of Dave Smithsnow throughout the convention. I mean, I had a picture taken with him, but it's like he was just off doing his own thing, and I was off doing my own thing. So I managed to just go around the place, just talking to as many people as I can. Nolsey, 000 Firestorm, Chris Evans, Scott Barker, Dorian, Wasp Shot, Craggy. Who else? Luffy Brad, most of the TFYTC, Joe Powell, who else? Frederick, and I could list names, but the thing is that you all know who you are. So each and every person that I will probably lose track of when I mention in this video. Really, it seems impossible to really just go through the list and just mention every single name because each person is unique in their own way. So it's very hard to just talk about each person and say what's good about them. I mean, they're all great people in their own way, and they really are the beating heart of the whole convention experience and the whole fandom, and really what helps make the convention worth going to for people like us. So it's there's no prejudice, there's no disagreements. There's no negativity of any kind. So really what we have is a convention full of positivity and overwhelming abundance of welcoming attitudes. And even though we disagree on shit, at least at the end of the day we can still laugh about it. So disagreements and all that are just fading away in exchange for God, my head looks very thin in the lighting. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so all the whole disagreements and the whole negative shit just fade away, and it's not really even a part of the whole convention, because enjoyment of each other's company is really what brings these sorts of things to what brings us together. The enjoyment of Transformers, the enjoyment of comics, the enjoyment of pop cultural shit. So it's like everything about Transformers and everything about the whole geek stuff is really what makes the convention so good. And just getting to meet Richard Newman, who's kind of been one of the voices of my childhood, because I know he was Rhinox in Beast Wars, but he was so many other different things in different video games. I mean, for example, he played the voice of Josui Kuroda in Kessen, and I love the shit out of this game. And Paul Eiding, who I didn't really get the chance to properly meet again, I actually got him to sign Onimusha 3 because he was Mitsuhide Akechi in that. But yeah, I mean, and that's the good thing as well, is that the guests are probably the most down-to-earth people at these sorts of conventions, because if you treat them right, and they will treat you right, and, everyone gets treated right, there's that thing, of course, well, at conventions like this, there's no charge to go and speak to somebody or have a picture taken with them, because what's the point, you know? But I'm not disagreeing with conventions that do that sort of thing. I know that they're going to make money, but at the same time, though, these guests are people, and they deserve to be treated with the same amount of courtesy that we do. So yeah, I mean that's really all I can say regarding that. So where am I going with this? I enjoy the convention. I know that I've heard people go ahead and say, oh well, it's not as good as AA. Well, AA's done. That's over. It's complete. It's come full circle. Let's not bring that up ever again. TFNation is really where we are now, and TFNation is really where we have to try and improve on that. So make new changes, make new corrections and all that sort of thing. Well, correcting isn't even the word, but new stuff to really just talk about and really get things going, and really just to help uh, help kick this kick this convention going into a new direction that will help make it become successful. Because I think that that's really the best thing about it. The successful it becomes, then the slight chance of it doing bigger things in the future. So you never know. It's always the sky's the limit with this sort of convention. So the bigger the better, and the more people will come. So you know what, everybody, if you're thinking about going to a convention next year, I would suggest you go to TFNation, because really TFNation offers so much in regards to its people, its levels of commitment, and its levels of guests that it has, and I should shut my phone off at some point, and just the amount of overwhelming positivity that has made this whole weekend an experience. So I think really that's really what it all comes down to. So there's so much to really be grateful for with this convention. If you've socialized with people, if you've drank a lot, and even if you don't drink, that's fine. But if you've socialized with people, if you drank a lot, if you've spent money, if you've socialized even more, if you've still spent more money, then that's fine. Because I think the best thing about this convention is to really engage with what it offers you, and I think that's the best thing about it. So definitely make the attempt for next year, and I'm looking forward to what TFNation will do for next year. So that's really all I have to say about that. So hope this has answered a few queries and managed to get people curious about how TFNation is. No doubt that you'll see people make the whole and final thoughts thing afterwards, because I want to see a TFNation become successful. I want to see it do bigger and better things. I want to see it do the exact opposite of what AA did, but under much different light. So who knows? I really have faith in TFNation. I know it's going to be a good convention as years go by. So let's try and let's try and keep it as successful as much as possible, because this convention deserves success. So thanks to everybody involved, and thanks to the people who put hard work and dedication into making it, and most of all, thanks to all of you who I actually got the chance to properly meet, and the people that I didn't get the chance to meet this year, I can make the attempt for next year. So I will try to move some people out of the query. But blanking people is never a good thing though, so I probably won't do that. But yeah, so anyway, that's me for this year's TFNation. I hope that you found this video informative. Looking forward to seeing everybody else's videos, because you know what? It's all uphill from here with TFNation. So take care, everybody. I'll see you all soon.